So now we're going to go through the different types of firewalls, how they work. We'll look at where they should be placed, a little bit about the network architecture that has to do with firewalls. So the first thing is that a firewall needs to be on a lockdown system, and that's what a Bastion host is. I've seen in the industry where people actually think that a Bastion host equals firewall, but a Bastion host actually just means it's locked down, which means all the unnecessary accounts are disabled, unnecessary services and subsystems and administrative tools, they're all not available, they're disabled. Because this is the system that's going to be closest to the untrusted network, the internet, and so it has to be properly locked down. Now even the network administrator tools, some people I see in companies where they'll lock down a system, but the actual tools that they use to administer that system or the systems around it, they won't lock it down. Well, the network administrator tools are very powerful. In fact, most hackers actually use those same tools to hack into systems and take over. So if you don't disable those, you're basically telling the hacker, you don't need to bring your own tools, we got them for you, and you can use them against us. So the firewall software needs to be on a lockdown system. Now, most of the firewalls, like an appliance, means it's a dedicated device, will be on a stripped-down Linux operating system. So the DMZ is a portion of the network where you are going to have systems that absolutely have to be there. The DMZ is you'll have the untrusted network like the internet, then you have your DMZ, which is actually a buffer zone before you get to your internal network. So the goal is that there's more than one layer or device that the attacker has to get through before they get to the internal network. So what goes into the DMZ? Well, only what absolutely has to be in there, because it's going to be more likely under attack if somebody gets through the actual firewall and tries to then attack those systems. It'll be right there. And that's why they have to be very locked down. So in the DMZ, that could be where your web servers are, your external DNS server, external mail server. And so this is just a construct. And we're going to talk about different architectures you can use to set up different types of DMZs. Now, DMZs they can get very complex. And a lot of times in books or in classes, when we go through the actual, which we'll talk about, like the screen host or the subnet, they look very simple. But most people who actually do networking and architect networking know that DMZs can be very confusing in that you can have several different systems. You can have systems or different subnets with different addresses. You could have more than one DMZ that has to do communication back and forth. So if the DMZ is not properly configured, and that means the different firewalls, firewall between the internet and the DMZ, and the firewall between the DMZ and the internal network, and those systems that are in the DMZ are not locked down, that's an easy way for attackers to get in.